30. Sri Priya Nath Sinha. We evince a sad lack of restraint in conversation or any conjoint action such as music and so on. Everyone tries to put himself foremost. The jostling at railway or steamer station is another illustration of his. A friend of Swamiji had a talk with him one day at the mutt on this subject. Swamiji remarked, "You see, we have an old adage. If your son is not inclined to study, put him in the darbars, sabha." The word sabha here does not mean social meetings, such as take place occasionally at people's houses. It means royal darbars. In the days of the independent kings of Bengal, they used to hold their courts mornings and evenings. There, all the affairs of the state were discussed in the morning. And as there were no newspapers at that time, the king used to converse with the leading gentry of the capital and gather from them all information regarding the people and the state. These gentlemen had to attend these meetings, for if they did not do so, the king would inquire into the reason of their non-attendance. Such darbars were the centers of culture in every country and not merely in ours. In the present day, the western parts of India, especially Rajputana, are much better off in this respect than Bengal, as something similar to these old darbars still obtains there. Question. Then Maharaj, have our people lost their own good manners because we have no kings of our own? Swamiji, it is all a degeneration which has its root in selfishness. That in boarding a steamer one follows the vulgar maxim, "Uncle, save thy own precious skin." And in music and moments of recreation, everyone tries to make a display of himself, is a typical picture of our mental state. Only a little training in self-sacrifice would take it away. It is the fault of the parents who do not teach their children good manners. Self-sacrifice, indeed, is the basis of all civilization. On the other hand, owing to the undue domination exercised by the parents, our boys do not get free scope for growth. The parents consider singing as improper, but the son, when he hears a fine piece of music, at once sets his whole mind on how to learn it, and naturally he must look out for an adda. Then again, it is a sin to smoke. So what else can the young man do than mix with the servants of the house to indulge in this habit in secret? In everyone there are infinite tendencies, which require proper scope for satisfaction. But in our country, that is not allowed, and to bring about a different order of things would require a fresh training of the parents. Such is the condition. What a pity! We have not yet developed a high grade of civilization, and in spite of this, our educated babus want the British to hand over the government to them to manage. It makes me laugh and cry as well. Well, where is that martial spirit which at the very outset requires one to know how to serve and obey and to practice self-restraint? The martial spirit is not self-assertion but self-sacrifice. One must be ready to advance and lay down one's life at the word of command before he can command the hearts and lives of others. One must sacrifice himself first. A devotee of Sri Ramakrishna once passed some severe remarks in a book written by him against those who did not believe in Sri Ramakrishna as an incarnation of God. Swamiji summoned the writer to his presence and addressed him thus in a spirited manner. What right had you to write like that, abusing others? What matters it if they do not believe in your Lord? Have we created a sect? Are we Ramakrishnites, that we should look upon anyone who will not worship him as our enemy? By your bigotry, you have only lowered him and made him small. If your Lord is God himself, then you ought to know that in whatsoever name one is calling upon him, it is his worship only. And who are you to abuse others? Do you think they will hear you if you inveigh against them? How foolish! You can only win others' hearts when you have sacrificed yourself to them. Otherwise, why should they hear you? Regaining his natural composure after a short while, Swamiji spoke in a sorrowful tone. Can anyone, my dear friend, have faith or resignation in the Lord unless he himself is a hero? Never can hatred and malice vanish from one's heart unless one becomes a hero. And unless one is free from these, how can one become truly civilized? Where in this country is that sturdy manliness, that spirit of heroism? Alas, nowhere. Often have I looked for that, and I found only one instance of it, and only one. Question. In whom have you found it, Swamiji? Swamiji. In GC alone I have seen that true resignation, that true spirit of a servant of the Lord. And was it not because he was ever ready to sacrifice himself that Sri Ramakrishna took upon himself all his responsibility? What a unique spirit of resignation to the Lord! I have not met his parallel. From him have I learnt the lesson of self surrender. So saying, Swamiji raised his folded hands to his head out of respect to him.